So to start with, we will start with a session on Sunbird, and I would like to invite Dr. Pramod Verma, Chief Technology Officer, Ekstep Foundation, and Chief Architect of Aadhaar. Apart from that, he's been also architect of various India stack layers such as eSign, Digital Locker, UPI, all working at a population scale. So before I hand it over to Pramod, welcome Pramod, and over to you.
Thank you, Alok. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night. We don't know where you are, but wonderful to be speaking with all of you. It's a very special day for many reasons, other than, of course, Ramanujam's birthday, one of the best minds we have ever produced. But it's also the fact that a few years of work, Ekstep Foundation, along with quite a large set of partners, many of them are actually listening today, contributed Sunbird. And that we are starting a series of learning sessions. So don't expect today's to be the start and end of these sessions. I'm sure we'll have lots and lots of questions subsequently as well. But write down the questions if you have today. Even I will be taking question answer towards the end. There's a Q&A box, as Alok said. Write it down, and we'll make sure we can answer them. And subsequently join all the learning sessions and download, try it out. So let me start. Let me share the screen. You can confirm whether you can see that. Alok, you are seeing the slide move?
Yeah, Pramod.
Okay, very good. So when Ekstep, the team that came together at Ekstep was, we didn't come from necessarily, education, pedagogy, experts background. We were more of architects of large-scale digital infrastructure. And when we came together and analyzed the turf, and specifically with our mission of 200 million access to opportunities for 200 plus million children, we realized the complexity and the diversity and the scale of India, as always, and nothing new, and you have seen this, but very specific with respect to education as well, or learn in the schooling as well. Very, very large number of young population. India is a young country. Lots and lots of schools, government, public schools, private school, affordable private school, more costly public school, and top end, really few schools. Many, many languages, 23, 22 official languages plus English. So we have 23 official languages. And as you know, we have variations of that, many hundreds. And given the fact that children learn everything through language, some language of representation. Language played a very important role, and the diversity of that created a lot more complexity in the system. Add this to the complexity of first-time learners. Many of the children in India are coming from parents who have never been to school. So that actually creates even more complexity that they are not support. They are unable to get support at home, quite like the privileged children a lot of our families see. When we analyze that, we realize this complexity requires a very different way of thinking. And it cannot be a packaged, here is how you should be learning kind of a solution play. It has to be an infrastructure play. So that's an important thing to keep in mind when you hear Sunbird. Second, we also know from many studies that the world is no more necessary to do the first half of your life in schooling and the second half work and then retirement. The world is changing dramatically around us. And as Nandan said once, micro is the new mega. And everything is going into micro cycles. So the learning is also going to actually happen anytime, anywhere, contextualized to your need, on demand, and through a set of micro learning cycles, generating micro credentials for that individual. And as a learner, your ability to constantly learn, what we call lifelong learning, and constantly adapt to the needs that are asked of you is the way everything is going to, at least individuals are going to be successful. And that's how it's going to be successful. And if you don't know what 2040, what is in store in the future for us, what do you teach? What do you learn? So I think the world is moving, this change is actually dramatic. Highly connected world, highly micro cycles of learning, and constantly changing. Every 5 to 10 years, disruption around you. You need a different way of configuring solutions, a different way of adapting to the new needs, and different way of reassembling the choice of how the learning should be done, and not something you package and next 50 years you just keep learning. That doesn't work anymore. These two, the diversity and scale I talked about, and the new way of the new demand of learning everything in micro on demand, is what necessitating an internet scale digital infrastructure that is usable by government, civil society, or even bazaar, the marketplace, who can build contextual solutions that are diverse to the people who need them, upper middle class, top of the pyramid, bottom of the pyramid. You need to be able to create solutions that are relevant for them, contextual for them. But it cannot be done by one party. So it must be created through a digital infrastructure that allows everyone in the society to configure, compose, extend, build solutions, and actually cater to the diversity of India. And continuously evolving, the rapid disruption cycle that's going through necessitated continuously evolvable infrastructure. And the revolution can't come through pure intuition alone. It has to come through data, and data as a necessary result of the cycles. Cycles generate interactions and interaction data and telemetry, and use that to actually change the solution and change the way education is done or learning is conducted. And that's why we did. So ExTev then went into unbundling the problem itself and unbundling into a set of building blocks that comes as digital public goods. We are a foundation. So we were putting everything in the open source, as Alok said, and it's all MIT licensed. So the entire set of building blocks that we created in the last 4 years, 5 years of ExTev setup is all on GitHub, all under the brand of Sunbird. And that's what you're going to start learning today. And at the end of the day, our idea was that we could, if we can build configurable, composable building blocks that are generalized enough, then the society and the government and the marketplace can take this and create very rapidly build contextual solutions for the to cater to the diversity. So we were actually not building solutions per se. We were building an infrastructure with building blocks that distributes the ability to solve for all of you. So all of you can adopt Sunbird the way you want it to solve a variety of education needs. And that was the birth of Sunbird. And Sunbird is an open source, free to use internet scale public infrastructure consisting of a set of many building blocks for learning, designed to address scale and diversity and constantly evolving nature of education or learning. And the journey has been fantastic so far. We have had a large set of partners who are supporting us. So we are a very small team, but with a large ecosystem of partners who are engineering partners, content partners, and everything else, everybody else coming together to build this, including experts who have been so wonderful explaining to us how everything works. And we are building into digital blocks and constantly constructing those building blocks and putting into Sunbird. We started in 2015 as a foundation. 1.0 Sunbird was 2017. And 1.4 was 2018. And 2019, we did 2.0 before the academic session. We sort of aligned to the academic session. That's where this May you see. And this year of May, very, very critical year, isn't it? This year has been a testing year for everyone. And when we upgraded to 3.0, we also introduced a powerful set of interaction and collaboration set of features that over the last few months we have been maturing. And you will hear many of that today. That allows, especially in COVID times, when people couldn't physically go to school, schooling shouldn't be stopped. But it is still a journey. It is never ending. It's on, and we have so far come very well, and it's a reasonably mature stack of building blocks. And today you will hear a few of those sessions and expect us to continue those sessions through January, February, and March. And the 4 years of continued effort, primarily led by Exter Foundation as sort of an orchestrator, I would say, more than the actual builder. And Shiksha Lokam has been foundation, that's also a foundation. They focus, their expertise is to focus from administrative and managed learn side. And when that happened, when they came together, it really amplified our Sunbird capabilities. And very interesting co-creation happened in the last 1 year. But on the right side, I just couldn't put every one of your logos and names, but you know who you are. Every one of you contributed to Sunbird, even a single line of code, a single content or expertise, or even simply helping us understand what the hell is going on. Even you are a contributor. Every one of you is a contributor. We are listing this on sunbird.org site as under the community, but it will be updated. Okay, so if you don't see your logo, it's not intentional, and we will add them for sure, because every one of you deserve the credit to bring Sunbird alive. And the entire system is built on very strong architecture foundation, and sort of the 12 principles that we have always talked about, creating unified system, not a uniform, given the diversity, addressing diversity and being extensible, and not necessarily pre-opinionated, pre-created solutions, unbundled as building blocks and the combinable, built for observability and telemetry, because continuous evolution is required, because everything is changing, and continuous evolution comes from the ability to observe, being minimalistic about it. And then, of course, designing for privacy. These are not afterthoughts, especially when it's with respect to learners' data, personal data, and so on. It has to be baked into the system itself. And of course, adopters have to apply policies on top of it. This is just a software layer, but even then, software layer must cater to those design principles. It's generalized, very generalized and configurable, and it allows you to evolve your needs because of the unbundling, because of the combinability, because of data. It catered to a naturally evolving scenarios. It's built for fully API-based, heavily automated system. Of course, we encourage you to, if you're adopting, you should continue these principles to apply to your platform as well. Entire Sunbird is built on other open source. So thank you to a large open source community that we depend on. And of course, open standards for many of them, and built as microservices and API, because again, think of Sunbird as an engine, a set of reference solutions, but you can actually morph it out and build your own car. That's very powerful. And of course, most importantly, it's very, very, very scalable. It's built for scale. It also means that it is maybe slightly more complex than you might expect. And that complexity or initial feeling of complexity comes from the fact that it is built as unbundled. So you really don't know, it's not a package install setup.exe and sort of starts off, right? Because it's an infrastructure of building blocks and massively scalable, and allows, because of the evolvability, you can actually offer many features, synchronous learning, asynchronous learning, asynchronous interactions, wide variety of content, and you will hear this during the talk, wide variety of content and so on. And primarily we cater to three personas, and generalized set of personas: a learner, a teacher, or a mentor, or a whoever want to help learn, and an administrator who's managing learning. Typically, these are the three key personas that we deal with. In the three scenarios, a learning scenario, or helping someone else learn scenario, or management of the learning context as the scenarios, and of primarily two interactions of the whole system: learning related interaction and administration related. Sunbird caters only minimal part of administration, but as a country, we would want to put together even administration, admissions, joining, transfer certificates, and so on. Sunbird doesn't cater to many of that, but definitely this is the generalized view of a system, how system would work, and applicable to any learning environment. By the way, while our mission was school education, it is built as generalized, unbundled, reusable pieces that allows any domain, not only education, any other domain to be used in a self-service or assisted model, synchronous or asynchronous fashion. And that allows a very powerful way to configure contextualized solution by you, by adopters, by people who are adopting Sunbird. And not by us. The software doesn't take any opinionated view of that. You are supposed to compose your solutions yourself. And always going back to that micro loop I talked about earlier, the learning is becoming a micro cycles of understanding and learning, interacting with peers and mentors, doing, practicing, doing, and making sure whether they are simulations or actual physical digital practice environments, you have to practice. You can't be purely theoretical watching videos. And of course, continuously sensing. Sense includes knowing where you are as a learner, or for a teacher, knowing where your children are. Sensing assessment, sensing any data collection of that sort, to make sure that sense ability to practice and sense, not only for you, for others to sense how where you are, is actually built in very, very unbundled. I think we have a deep dive session today on that. So please tune into that. It's a very, very interesting architecture there. But this loop is all about this loop between the learner, instructor, and administrator, between the learning and administration interactions, right? But we didn't solve that. We didn't solve that per se. We unbundle this into a set of capabilities and configuring configurable building blocks. Content collections, and there's another session for it, so I won't tell architecture around it, interaction environments, doing, action, do. What do you do? What do children do? What do learners do? And how do they practice it? Do they practice digitally, physically, or fidgetily? Between a combination of physical, digital, and of course, continuous sensing, as we said, powered by telemetry, continuous telemetry and observability, and a set of dashboards, reports, data exhausts that allows the individuals or the actors in this loop to make sense of what's going on, and bringing accountability through who are the people, registries, users, institutions, locations, and curriculum frameworks. We have digital representation of curriculum frameworks and so on, through a set of access roles and accounts, bringing accountability into the whole system. Because education is very conservative, and you definitely, as parents, we want to make sure children are not thrown into uncurated, uncontrolled, unaccountable environment for that. And it's powered by a set of microservices categories. So microservices are categorized into content learning services, practice, sensing, and assessment services, contribution and curation services, interaction and collaboration services, credentialing and badging services, telemetry services, taxonomy and tagging services, registry and discovery services, language services with tremendous work. We have an afternoon panel on AI, and we'll talk about some other open source work in that towards Indian languages. And of course, the infrastructure services like authentication, security, and all that, right? These are the category, and all of them are API. So everything is built. But not only that, they are built as building blocks to you. We also have built, and product managers will continue subsequently explain to you, a set of configurable reference solutions as well and tools for you, so that you can actually get started very quickly. But it's not the ending point. You can actually configure it, or you can extend it, or you can completely build your own layers. And people have done that. At a glance, it's quite been at works for a while, right? So we have about 1.5 million lines of code, reasonable documentation, and we know documentations are continuously evolving. And if any of you want to contribute to documentation as well, API documentation as your adopter, we have, go to sunbird.org. We can actually engage you on contribution in any of this, including code level. Okay, we have 100 plus ecosystem developers, and maybe 150 plus, I think. Large number of developers who are being there contributing. Some of them contributed and moved on. Some of them are still contributing. Very powerful ecosystem, very dedicated ecosystem. And we have nearly about 300 APIs under this 10 categories of microservices. And built with a knowledge structure at the core of it, a graph-based, directed graph-based knowledge management structure, not a content management system. So knowledge management was our primary thing. Content is an asset that allows us to manage that knowledge. Completely API driven, heavily data driven. We talked about that, which allowing you to build personalization, build contextualization, build recommendations, both for any of the actors in the system, which we talked about. And always trying to adopt open spec. And when there is no open spec, we do create things like question markup language. Very, very interesting. We have a session today on QML where how did we unbundle question as an asset and actually allows massive reuse, including translation, right? We have multiple language and translation needs and reuse needs. So how do we do that? Because we allow spec-based development. And it's built around, co-created through ecosystem. All of you, many of you have been part of that ecosystem. And one of the successful instances of Sunbird is adopted by Government of India, is Diksha. Diksha is the 9th largest. Now, as per the Ministry of Secretary recently, they talked the largest and most diverse government school education platform. And Diksha, as per the diksha.gov.in, if you go there, you can see 1.85 billion learning sessions just since April. So I think it's gone 2 billion. Somebody corrected me in the morning saying it's probably crossed 2 billion. It sort of shows the diversity, 35 state UTs, 30 plus languages, roughly about 16 billion learning minutes just since April. And this is because Government of India chose to adopt Sunbird, instantiate it, create an ecosystem, including the states, UTs and CBSE and so on, engage teachers, engage parents and students, and we still believe it's a starting point. By the way, these numbers are staggering, but we still believe it's starting point because we have a long way to go and we have to continue to work on it. But this is one of the examples of Diksha, but it could be many. So this is where Diksha fits in. But I know we have some partners probably on the call who are using it for financial education, financial inclusion, awareness campaigns, capacity building. There's a couple of other large projects that are coming in the way to build both on the urban side and as well as on the bureaucratic capacity to build that. Healthcare education, very, very interestingly, during COVID time, it really came in handy. Corporate learning, one of our partners have actually adopted Sunbird and built for a very entire company, very large company to learn, teach, and then now they're offering that as a commercial offering to their partners as well. So very interesting because Sunbird is MIT licensed, so you can really build commercial products as well on top of that. And I encourage you to do that, leverage, reuse, extend, contribute. If you are here to understand Sunbird, to reuse, leverage, extend, and contribute, perfect time. And this is the time to engage. Go to sunbird.org. We have GitHub discussion boards, channels, and so on. Everything will be on sunbird.org. That's your starting point. Thank you.
Thanks, Pramod. So I'll take a few questions from the audience. So first question, Pramod, is how do we tailor-made, we as the audience, how do we tailor-made Sunbird as per our needs? Can you please elaborate on that? And I'll just add one more thing in that, in specific to group discussions, is the audio video conference built on WebRTC, mobile RTC?
Okay, very good. Okay, so the first question, how do we tailor? There's multiple ways to tailor. If you want to get started, as I said, we have a reference solution. And subsequently, I think a couple of our product managers will explain to you our reference solution, including the theming capability and all that thing. So you can actually sort of install it, get started very easily on using our own mobile app. There's a mobile app and there's a web portal solution interface, responsive web portal, by the way, themable. So you can actually get started without much engineering effort, I would think. But what you have to keep in mind, though, is that Sunbird is nothing but a set of building blocks through built out microservices with API. So that's where some of the next your architects, for example, in your company, would look at it and say, "Aha, I can actually tailor make to my domain. So can I bring my taxonomies, my domain specific frameworks? Can I tag the way I want? Can I actually rewrite some applications or workflows the way I want?" Absolutely, because everything is API based. So you are able to go from a simple configure, install and start, configure it or extend it in any of these layers, depending on how deep you want to go. And people have done it. Our partners have done. Many of them are actually probably listening today. And the second question, yeah, so the audio video conferencing is a plugin that we are actually launching. It's actually very early stage right now. We are launching it as a plugin. But again, we are making sure we are not integrating in a hard-coded manner any of the video conferencing facility, because we know for a fact many of our partners, some of our partners choose to use Zoom, some of them use Google Meet, like CBSE, many of the schools using Google Meet, some of the schools will use WebEx or Microsoft Teams, and all of them are actually what we call ecosystem partners who are providing specialized tools for video conferencing. So Sunbird's approach is to actually plug into them, provide a plug-in point, what's called a service, sort of SDI, or SPI, service provider interface, right? That is, service provider interface allows anyone to plug in a custom video conferencing system or plug into a commercial video conferencing system. That's what Sunbird is enabling. It's not that it has inbuilt capability, okay? It is actually leverages existing audio video conferencing system, which I think is the right thing to do, because that gives a choice for people to adopt it.
Yeah, thanks, Pramod. So another question, from the audience: how do you compare Sunbird with content management solutions available? Like SharePoint, WordPress, and others. Can you elaborate?
Always an interesting question, right? So, in fact, I've been surprised. Sometimes I listen to them, and some of our product manager, for example, listen to them and say, "Hey, maybe all you need is Joomla or something, content management system, or maybe a Moodle is a very interesting open source sort of a learning platform in a box, right?" So the way Sunboard needs to be is with the context I talked to you about, context of diversity, context of not knowing what's going to work, context of evolvability, context of scale, and context of ecosystem driven network. So if you know exactly how you're going to teach and everything you're going to teach, Sunbird may be an overkill. It's a very powerful tool, so we always encourage you to use it, but it may be an overkill. But if you want a network of ecosystem to be activated, if you want a set of tools to engage ecosystem, if you want to cater to the diversity, if you want to be observable and evolvable, and if you want to be fungible in your system, not knowing what 2025 or 2030 is bringing you in, you want Sunbird.
So Pramod, what you're saying, if I understood it right, content management is a sub part of Sunbird, but then there are many interactions in context to learning and administration, which Sunbird allows you to enable.
And in a wide variety of ways. Absolutely. And we also, at the core is not content management, it's more knowledge management. Content is just assets to support the knowledge management. So again, I'm trying not to use too much tech terms, but our knowledge based engine is not a content database. Content database is, of course, we have content management.
Yeah, yeah. I'll take one last question, Pramod. There's a question about how, how do you handle the internet, quality in India? And I think expand that question to a little bit more in terms of what are the architectural design, aspects have been kept into consideration, keeping in mind the diversity of a country like India.
In fact, the only reason why we went on to build Sunbird is precisely that, precisely to cater to the extreme diversity of India in terms of languages, access patterns, self-service versus assisted capabilities, languages, everything else that we have, right? To cater to this, we said, first of all, we cannot assume everybody's online, learning, digital. Many learning, many environments of learning, and will continue to be physical. But probably the right thing to do as well. Kids have to touch and feel, and every other sense, right, has to work. So the physical nature of the learning has to continue, supplemented by digital. So that means digital is not the only one. So we're not saying, hey, just get on the smartphone, computer will teach you everything in life. Not going to happen. So knowing that, we talked about, we enabled offline capability. So we have offline capability. We can do online, offline, semi-connected, fully online. So all three scenarios, fully connected, semi-connected, are not connected at all. Actually, Sunbird apps work, and it's built for that. So reference solutions work that way. It can actually work in self-service or assisted ways. It can work in physical or digital ways. And again, I didn't want to steal the thunder of some of the subsequent sessions that are coming. And I'd leave it to our product managers to talk about that, how we are bridging the physical digital world of textbook and physical practice kits, children's activity kits. How does it supplement? Instead of taking them away from that and giving them a smartphone, how do you actually bridge that gap, right? So you have to be well constructed. Then we think about the scenarios, connected, disconnected, self-assisted, multi-channel. Multi-channel means it doesn't even have to be through, Sunbird can be used to completely use a TV or radio-based systems. Interactions. You can actually create an IVR-based interaction, learning interaction. Listen to a story every day interaction, for example. Call 1-800 number, listen to a story. Perfectly doable with Sunbird APIs. So you have to imagine that capability to be broad-based, then work with the ecosystem to actually systematically make those routines and habits set in, which is the implementation aspect of Sunbird. So with Diksha, we did that specifically with the Government of India, with large set of partners who helped us do that. But Sunbird is unbundled building blocks to do that. So we do cater to offline, online, any channel, any device, and so on. And so Namrata will talk about that later.
Yeah, yeah. Let me just pull one more question. I think we're almost on the time, but let me just pull in. So the question is, will Sunbird remain free forever? Will there be, a requirement or something, which will come into play where enterprise support might be a possibility for any organization, whether a startup or a large scale organization who wants to adopt Sunbird? And then just integrating the question, how relevant is Sunbird to school, education, and can it integrate with some of the other existing systems around education and school education?
Okay, so the first part of it, the Sunbird core that we are Extra Foundation is leading, the Sunbird ecosystem is leading. Extra Education and Shikshalookam happen to be the co-builders and mostly orchestrators of that. But really a large ecosystem of developers building, committed to keep it open source. And we even did it as MIT license precisely to be no questions asked. We didn't even want any restrictions of any nature of that sort. So the Sunbird system itself is built open source. Think of any other open source like that you know of. But Xstep is a foundation. Shikshalookam is a foundation. our missions are different, but what we are encouraging you. In fact, some of our partners, I don't want to name them, some of our partners are already offering commercial support around Sunbird. Some of the support I meant implementation support, installation support, or any of the technology support a particular entity may require. And it's not that the adopters they can build their own engineering all the time. So they can look at our partners, and many of you can actually step up and offer that commercial offerings, various offerings, build products around it, build solutions around it, build content for it, build services around it. These are all commercial activities done by the ecosystem, and we encourage many of you in the ecosystem to do so. Okay. What was the last question, by the way? Did I answer that?
Can we integrate existing other systems?
Absolutely. Yeah. So if you have a school management ERP system, school management system, if you're providing school learning system for private schools, you can absolutely integrate some of the APIs. But Sunbird is a software, so you have to integrate it to a runtime. We are not running Sunbird, right? So we are not hosting Sunbird as a runtime. It's also very conscious decision so that the country doesn't depend on an NGO to do that. But the government of India, for example, has enabled Diksha in the case of school education. Now there will be similar, they might be similar for skilling environments, there might be skilling for similar for higher education environment and so on. Some of those, health, for example, and some of those instances run by the large, especially government entities, would become they are also considered as a public good. They in turn open up the APIs for the ecosystem. So you can, our expectation is that, our hope is that, I'm pretty sure that will happen, quite like the way we saw with India Stack and Aadhaar and eSign and UPI and the health stack which is coming up. We would expect education stack of sort, education layers of infrastructure in the country. Sunbird is a software that enables it, but the infrastructure itself to be opened up to the market as well, so that we can get amplification and then eventually a unified system, but not uniform, and eventually get affordable, accessible choice for everyone. Nobody should have a dearth of learning opportunities. At least that's our mission.
Absolutely, Pramod. Thanks for your session.
Have fun, all of you. Thank you so much.